Hey guys, what's going on? This is Mr. So Real, and welcome to this week's Good or Garbage. This is the place where you can find out about the newest weapons, armor, mods, attachments, and everything you'll need to know to help keep you safe in the dark zone and keep you killing those enemies in the PvE world of The Division. Now, there's a lot of really good SMGs, and there's quite a few really good things being sold this week. Not as amazing as last week, but there are still some pretty good stuff, including G36s and all that. So why don't we get into this? Let's go. Alright guys, starting off this week, we have the special blueprint vendor, the SASG shotgun, the classical M44 carbon blueprint. This is one of the hardest hitting sniper rifles in the game. The firearms mask, the stamina knee pads, the quick release magazine, which gives you reload speed, the angled grip, which helps with stability, the performance gear mod, and the electronics gear mod. If you need any of these things, you can go ahead and pick them up for Phoenix credits, and then you can craft them as you like. Again, the classic M44 is one of the hardest hitting sniper rifles, but you will lose the ability to put attachments on it. So if you snipers out there looking for that, just remember about that. Alright, so let's see what else is going on. Now at the special equipment vendor, we have the Centurion with Expert and Toxic. We have a Liberator with 21% enemy armor damage. The base damage with this character is 23.7. It comes with Competent, Swift, and Vicious. Not bad talents, but unfortunately the base damage when compared with another lightweight M4 is quite a bit lower, so I would say buyer beware on that. We also have the Historian with 142 headshot damage. This comes with cool-headed Toxic, History Repeats. The Pacan with 13% damage to targets out of cover. Base damage around 22.3 with this character. Talents, we have Meticulous, Determined, and Pacan. I like Meticulous on this, especially with Pacan. Each kill makes it so the reload has 20% extra bullets. This seems like with Meticulous, this thing could shoot forever. Just putting that out there. We have the Cassidy with 344 stagger. Comes with Trained, Vicious, and Boomstick. Now for the rest of the weapons, the pick of the week definitely by far has got to be this AUG para, just because, oh my god, 20% critical hit chance is not the highest, but 24.1 on an AUG is pretty damn good. Plus you get Hurried, Adept, and Deadly. If you have Adept unlocked with Deadly, this thing is going to be nasty. Hurried also gives you increased reload speed. As is, I would say this is pretty good. If you wanted to get rid of Hurried and put something like Competent on it, you could go ahead and do that. But as it is, in terms of crit, this is pretty damn nice. I may end up picking up one of these myself. Now we have some other weapons like the P416. Enemy armor damage is pretty good at 23. The base damage at 24.9. Comparing this to an M4, still not as good, but I'm not really sold on the P416s. We've got Unforgiven, Self-Preserved, and Skilled. Custom M870 shotgun. The base damage on it is pretty good. The stagger on it is alright. It comes with Fierce, Swift, and Commanding. We have a classic M1A, 160 headshot damage, okay, base damage. We also have Brutal, Sustained, and Capable. Now we have an RPK-74, 14% damage to targets out of cover. Decent base damage. We have Vicious, Commanding, and Brutal on this. Now moving on to some of the other things, we have an Enduring Mask. Not a huge fan of this. The armor is okay. I like Enduring, but it's not the best mask you can get. The Hunter's Faith mask is kind of poo-poo. Forceful chest piece. Not too many people use Forceful, so I'd probably pass on that. We've got a Tactician Authority chest with some pretty good armor on it, but that is kind of about it. We got a Reclaimer vest. Not really a fan of this. The Alpha Bridge, again, another pass. The Technical backpack, which increases skill power by 15% when your signature is active. Not many people are a fan of that. There's a lot of stuff that's being sold that's not really all that great. A striker's bag with 1202 with a little bit of health, still not really worth Phoenix credits in my opinion. Accomplished knee pads with a pretty good firearms roll, crit hit damage, increased kill XP, disrupt resistance, and blind deaf. If you like this or you're using a crit build, this could help you out. But remember, the armor on this is a little bit low, so be careful about that. We have the Lone Star knee pads with enemy armor damage, bleed resistance. We've got the Final Measure knees with enemy armor damage and shock and disrupt and blind deaf resistance. The armor on this is pretty good, but it is with a stamina roll, so you do want to watch it with that. The holsters are pretty much poo-poo. They've got usually one good slot, which is same for this Nomad holster, one good slot, but the rest of this stuff is not all that great. I would definitely say pass. Even this one, 1270 on electronics, but the rest of it a little bit unforgivable in my opinion. But if you need this, you can go ahead and grab it. Astute gloves with SMG, crit chance, and pistol, definite pass. The Century's Call gloves with assault rifle damage, why would you do that? The Banshee gloves with SMG, pistol damage, and crit chance, not good enough. Electronics mods with 259 electronics and some skill power. This is a pretty good mod if you want to spend some Phoenix credits on it, not bad. The turret health performance mod. The rest of these mods don't seem to be all that great. The heavy magazine spring could be good if you're using it for a heavy weapon or maybe even a sniper rifle, but I'd still say probably not. The rest of this stuff, yeah, I'm not really a huge fan of. The rugged mini sight, crit chance, headshot damage, and some stability, it could be better. All right, so let's see if there's anything else in the base of operations that we can talk about. Now over in the advanced weaponry vendor, to channel the inner George Takei according to Cracker Jacks. Oh yeah! We've got a Rhino special with deadly. We got a PP19 with 21.5 crit chance. Pretty good base damage for a PP19. Comes with deadly, meticulous, and hurried. Star of the show probably will be this military G36. The G36 is trying to come back. The base damage is 24.9, probably a little bit less than the one from last week. Enemy armor damage, but it comes with brutal, fierce, and focused. We've got an M870 shotgun, 333 stagger, determined, fierce, and accurate. We've got a sniper rifle. Unfortunately, the headshot damage is not all that. Base damage is all right. We've got destructive, adept, and elevated. The L86 light machine gun coming with competent, commanding, and determined. And the rest of these attachments are kind of crap. If you picked up that G36 from last week, this may not be something you want to pick up, but you know, it's got some pretty decent talents on it. You could probably roll deadly on this thing and have fierce, deadly, brutal, which I don't think would be all that bad. Yeah, but you know, you guys roll it how you like. Tell me what you guys are going to pick up and let me know what you put on these things. It's always nice to hear what kind of talents you guys like to have on your weapons. So let's see what other things are going on. If there's anything worth talking about in the base, then we will check it out. If not, let's go see what else is up. Alright, very quickly, in the base, the Dark Zone gear vendor has a prototype electronics mod with 263 electronics. Comes with exotic damage, resilience. Thought I'd share that. And also an extended magazine with 120.5 mag size, 4% crit hit damage, and a 5.5 rate of fire increase. So this could help you PvPers out if you're looking for something like this. Alright, very quickly, up in Autumn's Hope, I know some people are looking for things like these, so we're going to go and check out this stamina mod. The roll on it is not the highest. I usually like to recommend 260 and above, but we got a 253 with 3% skill haste. Skill haste being a big thing. If there are anything with skill haste in terms of mods that are being sold that are somewhatly decent, I will recommend it this week. So if you need that, go ahead and check it out. Hopefully we find something better from the other vendors. Taking a quick peek at the Wolves Den. Don't know if this is something people would be really interested in. We've got a first wave Vector with some decent base damage, some pretty high critical hit chance, unforgiving, accurate, and responsive. But the main reason I'm bringing you guys here is the extended magazine, 119.5 with 4% crit hit damage and 3% crit hit chance. This is pretty good. It's not the max over 120, but it's pretty close, and you can get it for regular credits. So if you need a better magazine, you can go ahead and pick one of these up. Alright, a quick little heads up for just in case you're looking for it. This is a little bit of a rare item. In Camp Hudson, we have a TI Rant Suppressor, 7% critical hit chance, 4% crit hit damage, and 6% headshot damage with 50% reduced threat. This could go well for the muzzle on your pistols if you're looking for something like that, or if you're running, I don't know, something and you need some extra crit chance, crit damage, and headshot. This could be all right. And also, just in case you wanted to know, there's a military Scar H. Headshot damage is kind of the base damage is pretty decent on it, but the talent Swift, Prepared, and Harmful, a little bit to be desired. But if you need a military Scar H, then there's one that can be had. Alright, check it out, guys. Over in East 58th Street, we have a pretty nice Reckless chest piece with over 16,000 armor, 9% skill haste. Unfortunately, it's got increased kill XP. The firearms roll on it isn't that great. The armor on it is okay, so you'll probably have to re-roll the firearms to get exactly what you want. But that amount of health and that amount of skill haste is very good, so you may want to check that out. There's also an inventive bag being sold. The armor on this is alright at $12.92. The stamina roll on it is kind of crap, but it does come with 8% crit hit damage. So if you need an inventive bag for something and you want crit damage, then there you go. So over in Park Avenue, we've got a couple things I just wanted to talk about. This ACR has some ridiculous damage, but that may be just based off of my character. 25.6. The ACRs have always been good. They've got capable, fierce, and sustained. Not a huge fan of sustained, but fierce and capable are not too bad. Another thing to look at is this SOCOM MK20 SSR. With 170 headshot damage, the base damage being around 70 with this character, comes with talented, disciplined, and fierce. Now, I would definitely not recommend using this with Deadeye, just because you don't need the crit hit chance and you don't need the other automatic crit hit. You're going to get it anyway. But if you're going to run this with a regular sniper build, maybe a yellow build, take off Determined, get Brutal put on this, and this thing could be pretty nasty. Although I'm not a fan of the MK20s, if you do need something like this, or you want to play around and try it, then go ahead. There you go. Alright, over in West 53rd Street, I thought I would throw this out just in case someone was looking for it. You've got a stamina mod with 262 stamina on it, plus it comes with health, 3,127. So if you find yourself being a little too squishy, or maybe you want to tank up, this could be a good mod to throw in your arsenal. Alright boys, here we go. West 46th Street, we coming out with the hard hitters. The Police M4. Damn! Look at that damage. That's more damage than mine by as little as you can get. I think that is the max base damage you can get on an M4, 25.6 with this character. Unfortunately, it falls flat on his face when it comes to talents. We've got Skilled, Unforgiving, and Determined. Now, Unforgiving, if you can get it to proc, is pretty nice. Getting into that last segment of health, 25% bonus damage is pretty cool. Determined, getting your skills reduced by 25% is, 7.5%. Is pretty nice. And then Skilled, headshot kills with this weapon increase signature by 5%. Not bad if you use it in a team, but I would say solo it's probably not the best one you'd want. But that base damage though, the enemy armor damage is only at 20, but still that base damage though. Go ahead and check that out if you need something like that. In other news at this vendor, he's coming out swinging. We've got an electronics mod with 263 electronics, and you get 1% crit hit chance. The crit hit chance is kind of lame, but you know, that's some pretty nice piece of electronics just in case you need that as well. So that Police M4, Jesus man. Over in East 46th Street, just in case you wanted to spend DZ credits, we have a G36 enhanced with 25k base damage. This one comes with responsive, brutal, and focus. Now, if you remember earlier in the segment, in this video today, we talked about a G36 in the base. Now, the base damage for that with this character was 24.9, so only 1 point over. The difference is this one comes with responsive, the other one came with fierce. So responsive will give you a flat damage of 10%, or fierce would give you an increase to crit chance. Now, depending on if you wanted to do something with focus, maybe roll it off and get something else, that is something you could think about. But definitely this is still a good pickup. And if you don't like spending DZ credits or you don't have them, then the one in the base of operations is just as good. Now, over in East 40th Street, we've got a nice little tactical AUG. The base damage is at 23.2, not the highest, but it definitely has some really nice talents: deadly, responsive, and vicious. So if you're going for crit and you like being in the face of the enemy, this is a pretty good one to have. Unfortunately, you know, the base damage for that AUG that was in the base is 24.1, so that is kind of something to think about. Do you want the talents or do you want the raw base damage? Alright, in East 34th Street, for the people who love that burst fire MP5, we got one with some pretty sick base damage, 27.5 with this character, 19% crit hit chance. We've got skilled, ferocious, and deadly. Now, it falls flat on his face with some of these, but I guess if you use them wisely, some of these talents are not that bad. Deadly is good for that crit hit chance or crit hit damage. Ferocious is pretty good for PvE, and then skilled, you could use this for PvE, and I guess if you're doing PvP and you're like using your super, or you need your super, maybe you're soloing it, then this could work out for you depending on if you can get all of those stacks. Ferocious and skilled together are going to require quite a lot, so be careful when you decide to make your build. You may have to sacrifice some firearms to get this to work. There are no good gloves this week, unfortunately. But we do have a little bit of skill haste on firearms. 243 is really low. I don't really recommend this, but I know some people are desperate for skill haste. And if you're going to bring this into the last stand, then it really doesn't matter because they're going to cap you out anyway. Alright, now over in West 31st Street, we got a pretty rare, I would say kind of rare item that not too many people use or talk about. We have a rapid chest piece. 12,070 electronics. This is almost the top that you can get for electronics. Comes with health. 16,652 health, which is really good, plus 7% skill haste. The only thing I can see wrong with this is that it doesn't have any ammo capacity, and that could easily be rolled on here. The skill haste does go up to about 9, so it's not the best, but still you get something, and that is worth something. Now, the key talent about this is it decreases the cooldown of healing skills by 15%. So if you're not running pulse or any of the deployable skills, then you could basically run a med kit and maybe booster shot, and you would have these back really fast. Plus you have skill haste on top of it, plus you have health. This is not a bad chess piece to think about, especially if you're running PvP and you're not running a pulse. You could still get adept and things like that to proc because you are still using skills. This may be something worth thinking about, and it could be a really interesting change of pace. Now in East 31st Street, just when I thought that the AUG Para in the base was going to walk away unscathed as the best weapon for this week, we have another one with slightly more base damage at 24.2. The one in the base is 24.1. This one comes with deadly, skilled, and capable. Capable is not bad for SMGs. Deadly, of course, is almost a must-have. And then we've got that punch in the nose skill that's been haunting us all episode. If you guys want to pick this up for some DC credits, then there you go. You can't really go wrong. But I would probably still say the one in the base, just because Phoenix credits are so readily available, may be a better buy. But I guess it depends on you and what talents you like. So check it out. Let me know which one did you pick up, or if you're even interested in the AUG series of submachine guns. Let me know. Alright, now up in DZ2 there is a refreshed mask with 1269 electronics. The armor on it isn't bad at 894. Could be a bit better, but refresh. All healing is improved by 30% when you're in your last segment of health. So if you're just about to die, do some kind of healing and it'll get you way back up. The damage to elites minor is pretty nice in my opinion, and then the major of 4% all resist I think could be a little bit better, maybe skill power better in that slot. There is a robust chest piece with 9% skill haste and 55 ammo capacity. Those are the only two good points on that. I would definitely pass on that. An inventive bag with 1264 electronics unfortunately comes with stability and bleed resistance. If you like bleed resistance, this could be pretty good, but stability, I don't really see it, and the armor on this is not really all that great. Now up in DZ3, I thought I would mention this just because the talents are magnifique. 20% critical hit chance, 22 base damage with this converted SMG9. It comes with responsive, deadly, and adept. I'm not really sure, man. If I had this on any other SMG, I'd probably be crying with joy, but definitely this is something pretty nice to behold. This is probably going to be a rare gem that you won't see very often, so if you like the SMG9, this is a pretty good time to pick one of these up. Because earlier I said I would throw it out, we have an electronics mod at 255 with 3% skill haste in DZ4. So if you need to get this, unfortunately it's only 255. I wish it was 260 plus, but hey, it is what it is, and it's still pretty good. Alright, as a rare note in DZ5, I thought I'd throw this out. There's an 18% crit hit damage suppressor that comes with 41% reduced threat. Thought I'd throw that out there just because reduced threat is nice. I know that crit hit damage goes higher, but usually with the loud vent break you have increased threat, and having reduced threat may be a nice little thing to have. There's also a 12 times scope with 18% headshot damage, although there are much better scopes in the world, but not this week. Alright, now up in DZ6 there is a pretty nice Sentry's Call harness, 1987 armor, 16,000, over 16,000 health, 9% skill haste, and the beautiful ammo capacity at 52%. The only thing is the firearms is kind of crap, so you will have to re-roll that, but other than that, this thing is perfect. Alright guys, that is it for this week's good or garbage. I hope you guys found some pretty good stuff. There's a lot of decent SMGs. The AUG has really come up this week. Just as a side note, if you were looking for Seeker Mine damage, there are quite a few places that are selling Seeker Mine damage upgrades at 3.5. I know the max is 4, but 3.5. Just offhand, you can go to the Crypt and pick one of those up, but there are quite a few vendors selling those, so I didn't want to make a big deal about it. Thank you guys so much for all the support lately. There have been quite a few new subscribers coming, and people leaving lots of really nice comments, and I really do appreciate all of that. I've been doing this for a while, and it's good to see you guys come on over and appreciate the content and the work that we've been putting in over here. So thank you all very much, and if you did pick up something nice, or if there was something that really floated your boat, let me know in the comment section. What did you pick up and what kind of rolls did you put on it, if you changed anything? And if you are new, let me know how you found out about this channel. I'm kind of curious to know how all these people have found the channel. That would be very helpful. And until the next video, I am Khan, Mr. So Real. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great weekend. Peace.